Well, hello and welcome back. We're continuing our database and our SQL and Python series of tutorials with these combos and doing our database synchronization script. Last time around, we started looking at stored procedures and we got into some moderately useful queries. Let's go ahead and we'll walk back through some of these. So what we did is one of the things we're looking at is we were getting our routine names based on our database name. So our database name is tutorial, and we're going to get our procedures that exist in there. And so we see we've got a whole bunch. And this was one that we created back in the SQL tutorial. So there's a whole bunch in there. And you can see the some of the details related to those. Now, one of the things we did is we went in to look at the source code. So if we go look at the one called while loop, then we get to see that it was a pretty straightforward, definition there. Now, if we go back and look at the names, one that we know had some parameters, because that was the next thing, is one to look at parameters. And actually, I guess we'll start with that. So if we do, and they live in the parameters table. So if I just do in the information schema parameters, we'll just look at this first. It's just bringing back a little over 2,000 rows. And you can see here we have a catalog. And so we can actually, which is the, oh, actually, no, that's not what I want. It's we have a specific schema. So we can see here, let's see, we can see, well, I've got a lot of tables in here. Let's nail down our schema, and we're going to do where specific, if I can spell it, specific schema equals, and let's narrow it down to our database, which is what we're going to need to do anyways when we get into this. So we're going to pull everything. So now we've got everything in our database. And we can see here specific name. So that's going to be our, each of these, that's going to be our store procedure. So, and we're going to do an specific, specific name equals, in this case, let's do while loop. Well, we do have one for while loop, but let's go look, multiplier's got 3, so let's look at those. So if we look at that, we have our 3 of them. We have 3 variables. Now, this has this ordinal position, so it's where does it exist in the procedure. So we definitely want to do order by, and that's fully spelled out, so ordinal position, just to make sure that they come through as 1, 2, 3. And we see here, this has actually got a fair amount of information. So we have an identifier, basically, what is the type, which I think is what we're going to be able to work with. You have a data type, but you can do something here that's a little more specific. So what I could do is, remember we're doing our create procedure, and we're going to call it here, be multiplier. I think it's as, and then we give it the parameters. So the parameters are going to be these by parameter name. So it's going to be X, Y, and Z. But remember, we have to do whether they're in or out. So this is an in, this is an out, this is an in out. And then we have our data type. We're going to use our data identifier instead. And then we get our source, which if we do for, let's do here. If we get our source, it's pretty simple. And so it looks something like that. Let's see what happens if we try to do that. So if we come in here and we do delimiter there, and then come back here, and do that. and do delimiter semicolon. We'll get back to that. Let's see how this works. We may have to tweak. We may have to jump back because this may not be exactly what it is. So let's, where am I going? I'm going to go to this database, and I'm just going to jump in and do it this way because I can. Then I'm going to do a MySQL. I'm going to do use tutorial. Actually, let's see. Let's see. I don't know. Do I already have a temp? Okay. Use temp. And now if I do this, I have an error in my SQL syntax, so it's not. Oh, it's not as. So if I do go back to, let's go back to wherever that's at. I think it's here. Maybe I don't have it here. Oh, we go cd SQL demo. Let's see. Let's do grep. What did I call that? I called that multiplier. Let's go find that one. There we go. So if I do here, let's see. So if I do VI day 14, we're going to see that he looks basically like this. So let's get out of that. Whoop. There we go. And then if we do MySQL, use temp. So let's go look at what this looks like. Actually, let's go bring it over here. So that's what we started with. Let's see how close were we to what actually should be doing. So we should have create. We can do or replace. Procedure. We want to give it. We do want to give it the database name because we won't necessarily be there. Oh, we don't need an as. And then we do our. Got everything there, and then we're good. So let's see if that works. It may not like the size, so we may have to. Oops, I don't want to make it tutorial. I want to make it. Oh, good. I did it wrong anyways. Spelled that wrong. So if I come in here. There we go. So now I have created that. So this is what we have to do, and it's not too terribly difficult. So let's go look at it, because this is what I want to execute. And so let's jump back here where we were creating it. Oh. And let's see, it's missing procedure. Oh, missing procedures. So what we want to create. Whoops, let's do this. Maybe it'll do it right. There we go. So that's what we want to create. So what we've gotten from here is we have our source results. We've already picked, pitched those out. So now what we want to do is we want to grab our, let's do print, and it's going to be variables. And what we need here is this going to be a little different, because this one's going to be, we'll call it the var query. And we're going to go pick up, let's see what we want from it. So we want, we really don't need the ordinal position because that's going to come in, but we do need parameter mode. We need parameter name. And I think what we can do is we can get away. What we want to do is we're going to have to find some that are vars. So let's go look at that real quick. Let's do DTD identifier. Identifier. Okay. So if we do those, there we go. And so now let's do this where we just grab all of them, because let's see if we've got, yeah, so we can see here, so we've got like, whatever it is we need to do. So we'll be able to build them just with these. And obviously we need it where there is not a parameter name that is missing. So let's see, and so we've got those things. Oh, and let's do parameter name is not null. I'm not sure why we would have that. We'll probably have to look at that one at some point. There we go. Okay. So we're going to take that and we're going to have a little bit of, so we're going to have to do some work on this guy because tutorial is actually source name. Whoop. And the specific name is going to be the proc name. Let's see, we'll get it to there. And parameter name is not null. Okay. And did we miss one somewhere? Let's see. So we come in, we do that, do that. Oh, and then we have to close it. There we go. So that's our var query. And we'll do this because we're going to need a cursor. And so we're going to do var cursor from the source database. And then we're going to execute with our var query. And then we're going to do for parm row in, oops, we need results. And that's going to be in var cursor, fetch all. For that in that. And for right now, let's just print that row and see how it looks. So let's see, let's get out of there, let's get out of there, out of there, Python 3, main. And so now we're seeing all this stuff get split out and we can see our variables. And I think we'll wrap this one because the next thing we're going to do is going to actually build that out. So now what we're seeing is we're able to go through, we're able to find missing store, actually I don't even know where to, yeah, we're finding our missing stored procedures. We're grabbing the source, we're grabbing the variables. So now we're going to come back next time and we're going to, for each of these, we're going to go in and create this, make the call, and see what happens. That being said, I think it's a good time to wrap it up, so we will. So go out there and have yourself a great day, a great week, and we will talk to you next time.